In this video, I'll talk about why everybody wants to punch Jake Paul in the face. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's head into it. 3 years ago, Jake Paul, now 24, ranked among the internet's most popular social media influencers. He attracted some 20 million fans to his YouTube channel by posting wild videos that depicted him in outrageous form, say riding a motorcycle into a swimming pool, or setting a mattress on fire for laughs. Along the way, he's accrued an estimated net worth of $20 million. These days, he stands as an influencer most likely to get his clock cleaned by professional athlete. After making it big on social media, Paul, somewhat bafflingly, decided to bulk up, get in shape, and become a professional boxer. Some people think it's just one big hoax, but just another stunt to get attention, but he's been working his way up through the ranks. Soon after, Paul won his 4th professional boxing match in a row, beating former UFC champion Tyron Woodley. On August 29, UFC contender Jorge Masvidal made clear that he wanted to take a shot at knocking around Jake the problem child Paul. In fact, according to ESPN, he'd like to take on Jake and his brother Logan. "I'm gonna beat up all the Pauls," Masvidal said during All Out, the All Elite Wrestling pay-per-view event. "If they put money in my pocket, of course I'd like to break some Disney characters' faces. Fighting guys like the Pauls is a bonus, man." Masvidal's bid will hinge, weirdly enough, on whether or not Woodley gets a tattoo. While most boxers leave rematches to management, Paul took matters into his own hands. He promised Woodley a fresh shot as long as he gets a tattoo that reads "I love Jake Paul." Woodley has already said he'll get the tattoo on my thigh or some shit. Why does everyone want to punch Paul in the head, body, and face? "I think Jake is misunderstood," his trainer BJ Flores told the Post. "He says what's on his mind. He doesn't care what other people think. He doesn't always do things that are politically correct, and doesn't always do things that a 4-0 fighter normally would, like act modestly because he's still green at the sport. But it works for him. Jake has people coming for his scalp, and he relishes it." That said, Paul doesn't need to cop a fighter's cap to earn his enmity. Let's be honest, the guy sucks. UFC pro Uriah Hall said during a UFC press chat, "He really sucks. He humiliates what I call real athletes. If offered the opportunity to fight him, however, Hall admitted that he would accept. I say, I would knock you the fuck out, and thank you for the opportunity, and I will do it for free." The Cleveland-born high school dropout, who went from social media to Disney to the ring, welcomes controversy and negativity. Paul laughed hysterically when he attended a UFC fight, and the crowd loudly chanted, "Fuck Jake Paul, fuck Jake Paul." Paul was already a hot commodity on Vine when he quit high school in Westlake, Ohio, and moved to LA. That was back in 2014. He and Logan got their start by shooting funny videos at home. They used the camera that their dad gave them as a Christmas present. While in Tinseltown, things blew up. Young fans of social media dug their brother's rebellious antics, which led to Paul being cast on the Disney show Bizaardvark. In 2016, he played Dirkman, a TV version of himself. By 2017 though, his worlds collided. KTLA in Los Angeles sent a news truck to investigate reports that Paul and his crew were upsetting neighbors in posh Beverly Grove. The news truck pulled up to the $17,000 per month house that Paul and fellow YouTubers were renting. Reporters became targets of t-shirt shots from a cannon before Paul and his gang jumped onto the roof of the news truck. Paul characterized COVID-19 as a hoax and threw a giant party in his Calabasas mansion as the pandemic surged. Soon after, FBI agents raided the pad in a link to the shopping mall incident. This past April, TikTok star Justin Paradise accused him of committing sexual assault against her in 2019. Paul denied the allegation. Paul has no illusions as to the fate that fights fans desire for him. Prior to January 30, 2020, and his fight against British YouTuber Aliasen Gibb, Paul had never before stepped into the sanctioned ring. Since then, he remains undefeated, admittedly against oddball opponents who include retired NBA player Nate Robinson and once middling UFC fighter Ben Askren, and is trying to establish himself as a serious pugilist. Already, he has a pay-per-view appeal and a multi-fight contract with Showtime, while Paul has sped his ascent by getting into the fight game with fame behind him, no doubt contributing to hefty purses. A reported $690,000 for his 3rd fight and $2 million for the most recent one. He's clearly doing what is required to succeed. Yet to take on a serious boxing opponent, he has still managed to beat at least 2 fighters with much more experience. He seems to make up for the lack of ring time with sheer drive. Jake is very raw and in great shape. He sparred every single fighter I could find him, said Flores. There has never been a new guy like Jake who can talk the way he does and back it up. He has a lot of toughness, a lot of tenacity, a lot of physical attributes. What motivated Paul to don gloves and exchange blows? Amazingly, he told Big Boy, "It was a desire for control. There was a point in my life where I felt like I was fighting for everything I had and losing. I kept getting beat up by the media." Whatever the case, he makes it sound like boxing leaves few hours for offensive behavior. "It takes up 110% of my time," Paul told Cleveland.com. "I've dedicated myself so much to this sport, I forget what it's like to talk to people, be social, and even go out to a restaurant." Despite threatening to hang up his gloves, Paul is anything but retired. His 5th fight is anticipated for the latter part of this year. Flores told the Post that we should not expect Paul to match up with a pushover who will want to do anything less than lay him out. Cakewalks are not his style. He's a fearless, tough, crazy kid who likes to put himself to the test. He will not take a fight unless the public thinks the other guy can beat him. Jake doesn't do things the conventional way. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. With that, I'll see you in the next video.